Most recently, we've been seeing a huge boom in prices for the Tag Team GX cards. These are the cards from the Sun and Moon era, which featured 2 or 3 Pokemon on a single card, and it provided a very unique dynamic within the TCG. It seems that the further away we get from the Sun and Moon era, people are starting to realize what fantastic cards these really were. In fact, many of these tag team cards featured the very first alternate arts, which have become very popular in the Sword and Shield era and on. So many people have gone back and tried to scoop up these original alt arts, causing a huge price spike for these tag team cards. And so for average collectors like you and me, it seems these cards are becoming more and more unattainable due to the price. But don't worry, because there are still several stunning tag team cards that you can pick up for a pretty affordable price. Here are my top 10, starting with number 1, which is the Moltres, Zapdos, and Articuno Tag Team GX from Hidden Fates. This stunning artwork featuring the legendary bird trio was illustrated by none other than Mitsuhiro Arita, the original illustrator of the base set Charizard. In fact, I'm pretty sure Arita has illustrated pretty much all of the original tag team cards, not including the alternate arts or the full arts. Out of all of the tag teams that have seen quite a bit of growth just in the last month, this one has seen pretty minimal growth, and so I think this card may possibly be undervalued right now due to the fact that this card is only $8 on the secondary market right now. It features 3 extremely popular Pokemon, and like I said, it has some incredible art on it, so this is a pretty affordable card that you can pick up right now. At number 2, we have the Reshiram and Charizard GX card from Unbroken Bonds. I personally think this artwork is incredible, showing these two Pokemon just blasting fire out of their mouths side by side. I'd probably even consider it personally one of the better Charizard cards of all time. Again, this is just one of the regular tag team cards, but what I think people don't realize is how hard even these cards are to pull from a booster pack. It seems that you can expect probably just about 2 to 3 and a booster box for Unbroken Bonds, Team Up, or Unified Minds. So believe it or not, this card is only going for $13 right now. Again, it's also seen very minimal growth, meaning that I think this could be one of the more undervalued cards on this list. Now, I was actually able to pick up this card from Whatnot a few months ago. In fact, Whatnot is the app featuring live streamed auctions where you can bid on Pokemon cards and often get some pretty great deals. Make sure you use my link in the description below to get $15 off your purchase on Whatnot and go pick yourself up some tag team cards. Now, I do want to give a disclaimer here because normally for these lists, I like to share cards that I think are undervalued right now. However, I'll let you know that the next several cards on this list I think may not necessarily be undervalued. I don't think they're necessarily overvalued, but they have seen significant price increases within the last month or two. So just keep that in mind, but I'm personally picking up a lot of these cards for myself just in case they do go up even more. And so for number 3, we actually have one of my favorites on this list, which is the Selby and Venusaur tag team card, which is actually a promo card that came in one of 3 tag team tins. Now, this card is actually technically an alternate art promo card, whereas there's actually an original version of this card, and this is basically an alternate art for this card. Now, the reason we're not seeing astronomical prices like we have for some of the other alt arts in Sun and Moon is because this card was readily available in those tins, and so it's probably printed quite a bit more. However, I still think it's a phenomenal artwork. It's gone up from about $8 to now about $15, which I think is a great price to get one at. At number 4, we have the Magikarp and Whalelord tag team at $18. Now, this card was about $14 4 months ago and has slowly risen to that $18 price point. And I think this price movement is largely due to its counterpart, the alt art Magikarp and Whalelord GX, which just has some stunning artwork. I really wish I had picked up this card when I had the chance at a lower price point. But as you can see, between the two cards, it kind of creates a little story where Whalelord is swallowing up Magikarp and then kind of blowing him out of his blowhole in the second card. I think it's kind of cool how these cards go together, and so I still think people are going to be chasing after the original one, and I think it's a great card for your collection as well. At number 5, we have the Eevee and Snorlax tag team promo, again from one of those tins that I mentioned earlier. Now, this card art is definitely an acquired taste, however you can't deny that it is unique, and if we've learned anything from the Unagaba promos and other cards like it, unique artworks tend to do pretty well. In 1 month, this card has gone from $13 all the way to $23 and is still on the move as we speak. In fact, it seems like this card may be currently being bought out, so it may be something to pay attention to. Next we have the third promo card from those tag team tins, which is the Pikachu and Zekrom tag team. This one has also seen a lot of growth over the last 3 months and is currently sitting at $24. It's definitely a really cool art and my personal favorite of all the Pikarom cards. Another tag team card with some excellent artwork is the Espeon and Deoxys tag team. This card is also going for around $24, and believe it or not, this card has not been seeing much growth within the last few months. In fact, it actually saw a bigger spike back in the fall for some reason, but right now during the tag team boom, it hasn't really done much different. So I do wonder if this card has some room to grow within the next several months. Alright, we're starting to get into the $30 to $40 range, and I recognize that everyone's budget is different. I do think for many collectors, this price point may still be reasonable for them. So we'll get into our last several cards in just a moment, but before we do, take a second and hit that subscribe button below if you're enjoying the content so far. At number 8, we have the Gengar and Mimikyu Tag Team GX for $35. I think this card art is great, and we've recently seen some crazy growth on the alternate art version of this card, which I personally don't quite get because I actually think this original tag team card is even better than the alternate art. Obviously the alt art is harder to pull than this one, but because of the explosive growth of the alts, this card has been trailing along with it and has gone from $17 all the way up to $35 just over the last year. Which again is pretty crazy when you consider that this is just a regular tag team card. It's not an alt art, a full art, or anything like that. At number 9, we have the Umbreon and Darkrai alternate art promo. This card was going for $25 just 3 months ago, and now it's gotten up to $37 on the secondary market. So this card has already seen some significant growth, but I would not underestimate Umbreon, and I think this is a card that many people are just discovering now for the first time. And last but not least, we have probably one of the coolest cards on this list, and one that's probably been undervalued for quite a while now, which is the Mewtwo and Mew Tag Team GX. What an excellent artwork with a lot of character featuring Mew, who's just being his own playful self, and you have a grouchy Mewtwo. He's just sitting there, he's kind of over it. I think this card is hilarious and awesome, and it's no wonder it's going for $45 now, the most expensive one on our list, but still pretty affordable, I think, for the average collector. Now this card has gone up significantly from $25 all the way to $45. However, I would not be surprised if this card eventually becomes out of range for the average collector, so now might be a good time to pick one up. But let me know what you think about this list in the comments below, and let me know if there's any cards that I missed that you would have included. Give this video a thumbs up and subscribe below to support the channel. Check out one of these videos here on screen I think you might like. And lastly, I want to let you know that no matter what you're going through, you are not alone. God is with you and He loves you, and we do too. I'll catch you next time.